Agree, John. Yeah, yeah, because the physical body, because remember, like I was talking before, right? Because the physical body actually stores those emotions. And the thing is especially when we're fasting, because those emotions are really stored within the organs. They're stored within the fat. They're stored within the organs. They're stored within the cells. So as we are fasting, guess what? As the body goes into the autophagy and as the body is burning the fat, those emotions start coming up to the surface. This happens very, very, very frequently. I don't know if this has been what's been happening for you, but I specifically noticed within the first 2 or 3 months of doing the dry fasting that a lot of stuff was bubbling up to the surface, right? And it's just a gift for us, right? Because this is where the healing needs to happen, right? And so I find too, is when I coach a lot of people doing the fasting, when I'm coaching a lot of people, this is something that really shows up for them. And it shows up for them in a huge way. And a lot of people do not know how to process it. They don't know what to do with it. So when it shows up, I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 people, do you know what they do? They go back to the pattern that kept them comfortable, right? They
Eating,
go straight
coffee,
back to
drinking,
that.
sex.
They're like, oh my God, I'm feeling straight back to the pattern, straight back to the pattern, whatever it is that felt them, make them feel comfortable. And a lot of them, that is AKA the bad food, the emotional eating, right? Because they just don't know how, they just don't know what to do. Because the thing is like we were discussing before, is they have no idea what's going on. They know they want to fast. I know I work with a lot of people, they just want to do it for losing weight, which is great, which is fantastic. But this is the one thing that a lot of people, that it does not get spoken about, is this part about fasting, is when we are fasting that the body is releasing the emotions as well when we're fasting as well. And this is the one thing that does not ever get spoken about, John. I've seen so many people talk about fasting, and I never hear about the emotional aspect of fasting, right? And as I'm coaching people, I find 9 out of 10 people, John, within their first few fasts, yeah, emotions come up hardcore because a lot of them just want to lose the weight. That's why they're in it. And a lot of them already have this negative mindset when they go into doing the fasting. They're like, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds. I don't look great. I don't look great. I don't feel great. So they really start from this really low vibrational point. So the thing is when they start fasting, because they've already started at a low vibrational point, when we sit here and think thoughts of fear, we think thoughts of anxiety, we think thoughts of overwhelm, what we focus on grows, right? So as they're fasting, these emotions are coming up. They're already in a place of where they're like, I don't like myself. I hate myself. I hear this from a lot of people when they start into the fasting. I hate myself. I hate my body. I don't know. I don't want to be like this anymore. They're really at the bottom scale, which is the low vibrational space. And then as they're fasting, not only are they thinking all these thoughts of fear, overwhelm, but as they're fasting, those emotions, it's coming out and seeping out through their organs, through their fat cells, and really they have no way to be able to process emotions. And this is really where the key point of processing the emotions really comes in, and really comes in handy, the technique that I help people to use. And also, like I was explaining before about these subconscious unprocessed memories. These subconscious unprocessed memories, they have the hugest gift that you could ever have inside of this unprocessed memory. The unprocessed memory literally has what we call is a timeline thread to it, because we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. This is average for most person. So when we start thinking these thoughts of self-sabotage, like I'm not good enough, I screwed up today, oh my God, I ate that cake. Like, why the hell did I do that? So next thing you know, that leads into this cycle and this over and over. We can tie this to the core, the root of these addictive behaviors is an unprocessed memory each and every time. So when we fully process this memory, that thought pattern, the thought pattern thread changes, and we heal a huge timeline, and then you're no longer going to get triggered. So you no longer will get triggered into these reactive states that causes you to have these AK bugs, everything like this, John.
So you're saying that you know, a lot of it is memory and kind of maybe erasing some memories or changing some memories and changing some memories in our mind from being something that was so. It's not something that was so bad that, you know, maybe when I was 14 or 15 or 18 or 20, that happened to me. That was so bad and so traumatic. And I always kind of think of it as being so bad and so traumatic. But if I look back at it, I can say, hey, you know what? It wasn't actually so bad and so traumatic. It actually was good because of this and this and this. And it actually was a good thing that happened to me. And I can see the value in that now. So, you know, if I can reframe that old memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about the reprogramming and the reframing. And
Excellent.
to be able to, and to be able to have these tools, because we need tools in our toolbox, right?
Yes.
We all need tools, right?
Yes.
So for each and every single one of us, we have a toolbox. And then when we get into these states, we can go, hey, you know what? I've got this tool. This tool's really going to help me in this moment. Hey, I'm going down and hey, I'm going to go exercise today. And we use the tools of weights, right? We use the whatever tools. So that's the main thing, is we all need to have specific tools that we can pull out of our toolbox that's really going to help us to heal in the mind, body, and spirit, and to keep us in a high vibrational space.
Yes, and then it's not only tools, it's also kind of having a person that we can be accountable to, right? It's having a person that can support us, because sometimes we can be dealing with an emotion. When we're in an emotion, we're just kind of reacting, but if we're by ourselves, we're eating, or we're doing our negative behavior that we normally do, and if we're not sharing it with someone, perhaps someone that's not caught up in that emotional state can point out and say, hey, wait a second, I heard you say that. I see what you're seeing and what you're doing right now. I can see how you're reacting to a thought that's inside your head, but you know, hang on a second. You don't need to do that. What about looking at it like this? What about thinking about it like this? What about seeing it like this? And the person can say, you know, I never thought of it that way. That's a good idea, or that's a good point, or maybe I'm being too hard on myself here. So having that coach that I can trust, that cares about my best interest, that's there to help me, having someone like yourself in the corner, applying some of the rules that you've learned and mastered to help somebody else see it in their own life when they're caught up in the throes of the subconscious programming. That's a huge asset, right? People need that, don't they? That's the thing about having a coach. I need to make myself accountable myself to others so that I can see the things. And when I just, often just sitting and talking with a professional like I am right now helps me to see the things that I'm thinking and saying. And I need to have someone in my corner that I can have an opportunity to discuss these things with. And that's the benefit of having a real experienced holistic coach like yourself.
Yes, John. That's the thing, right? Because when, like I said before, like when that subconscious reactive